This was the first thing I saw when I finally launched this game that had been sitting in my Steam library for months. It was just lying there unwashed and unplayed. Disgusting, really. It smelled horrible. But it was at this exact moment. Yep, that. No. This moment. Right here. That I knew I was about to play something really special. I'm not really sure what got me to finally play this game. I first saw it in a Donkey video, thought, that looks cool, forgot about it for 2 years, then saw it in a Humble Bundle I got, said, that looks cool, again. Then, after another year, finally launched it. I was interested in the game. I had no idea why I didn't just play the damn game as soon as I got it. But now, I'm kind of glad I didn't. Because I think I played this game during a point in my life when I really needed something like it. In the year and 7 gameplay sessions it took me to finish it, I was in varying states of emotional distress, and Owlboy offered an escape from all that for a bit. It also gave me something else I could invest my emotions into, like Alphonse's fat ass. And ultimately, I think this game helped me grow as a person during a time when I really needed it. Which sounds weird, I know, but just bear with me. So, first I should probably get you a little acquainted with this game, so let me give you a quick rundown of the story. So, in Owlboy, you play as Otis. He's a boy who also kind of looks like an owl. Didn't see that one coming. He's a young, eager member of a group called the Owls. He's mentored by this dude named Aceo, who's kind of a dickhead. Otis tries his best, but ultimately everyone kind of shits on him in the beginning of the game. Well, everyone except Getty, Otis's best friend. Mwah. Okay, so this would kind of take all day if I just explain the whole story, so let me just speed through the beginning a little bit. You start the game just doing your basic day-to-day stuff. Do a scout mission there, talk to the fat guy playing bongos, he's nice. Then, you and Getty run into a troublemaker that's been trouble-making. But turns out, while you're following him in this cave, sky pirates show up in Valley. Instead of attacking though, they grab an ancient owl relic and dip. Now, it's up to Otis and Getty to track down the pirates and stop them from throwing everything to shit, finding new friends on the way, like Alphonse and Twig, and ultimately culminating in this gang of misfits trying to save the world from floating into space. Now, I am gonna be spoiling shit, so before I do that, I'd like to share the moment that sold me on this game, and then maybe you guys can decide whether you want to keep watching the video or not. So, after you guys meet a shopkeeper in the island of Tropos, who I'm fairly certain is abusing her employees. You and Getty go outside, where you stumble upon a campfire. Getty asks if you guys should get a little rest and a little snuggle, you know? And of course, me being a lazy piece of shit, say yes. And then... this moment. On its surface, it's nothing terribly special. You're kind of just talking to Getty for what amounts to getting some exposition. But, to me at least, the combination of the music and the tone and the nice simple small talk, albeit one-sided, that Otis has with Getty, it just gave me this really warm feeling. I felt like a kid again, sitting at a campfire with a friend, talking to the night. I hadn't had an emotional reaction like that to a video game in a long time. I'm not quite sure what brought on this reaction, but it was a feeling I was more than happy to welcome back. So, ultimately, that's what I want to talk about. Owlboy was able to rekindle my passion for a few things, I'd say. For starters, it got me to want to make this video, something I haven't done since high school when I was still making stupid Let's Plays and Minecraft videos. But as life got busier and I started college, my drive for making videos and video games in general began to fall off. But this game finally reawoke something in me, and I just got the desire to share what this game did for me with the rest of the world. Or more accurately, the 15 people who will probably end up watching this, but that's okay. I think part of what made me lose interest in games at the time was also down to me just getting more jaded with the industry as a whole. But then I launched Owlboy and just got this polished, beautiful gem of a game. A game that had no ulterior motives for me and wasn't bogged down by any weird monetization models. It just had a story I wanted to tell, and it told it, allowing me to walk away with something as well. Not a lot of games can do that anymore, it seems. They definitely still exist, don't get me wrong. Games like Outer Wilds are a testament to that, and Red Dead 2 made me cry like a little baby, but it definitely feels like passion isn't always at the forefront anymore. I mean, that's what draws me into video games, when I can feel the love the developers put into it. That love shines through every facet of Owlboy, but to me what sticks out the most is the art and music. The art in this game reminds me of a simpler time for games, and it's just gorgeous, to put it simply. The devs spent 10 years making this game, and if there's anywhere that really shines, it's the art style. I think one of my favorite things about this kind of mosaic pixel art style is just how timeless it can end up being. Now, I'm not an art major. See, I'm going to school for music, so don't worry, I'm actually gonna make money. Oh, God. So I'm not at a point where I can get into the specifics of why this art is so good, and the same goes for the music, as I haven't really studied a lot of that yet. But I'm just gonna let the game speak for itself real quick. So, yeah. The music in this game is probably my favorite aspect of it, and Jonathan Greer really fucking popped off and manages to do so much all on his own. So, I've yet to really study much music theory, as I mentioned earlier, so I can't get into the technicalities of why his music is so good, but I know he's able to capture every emotion he needs to, and maintains a good sense of musical continuity with the recurring themes and motifs utilized throughout the game. Experiencing the music in this game was also one of the final nails in the coffin that made me want to pursue being a composer in the first place. making it another one of those things that Owlboy managed to rekindle my passion for. In fact, the music is such a constant presence, it makes the few moments in the game that have no music that much more impactful to drive home, or rather fly home, their points. And this kind of brings me to what is probably the most impactful part of the game for me, its themes, and what they taught me. I'd say the themes of Owlboy are about finding your confidence, accepting the love you get from those around you, and forgiveness. Or at least, that's what I got from it. Maybe you didn't, I don't fucking know. The theme of confidence is most obviously showcased through Otis, as even without speaking, we feel him progress from a more timid, down-on-his-luck owl to a brave warrior who can bring his friends together to save the world. Corny, I know, and really all the characters seem to go through this in some way or the other, but I think Otis is the best example. In the same way Otis and the others were able to discover their inner confidence, I'd say I managed to do so throughout the few months it took me to finish the game. I'm not saying that Owlboy is the sole reason I was able to find self-confidence or something. There are a huge range of things that caused that, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some sort of role. It almost felt like I progressed alongside Otis and all his friends, and that was really cool. Next, we've got that theme of forgiveness, which is first going to require a little bit of context, so I've got to show you what is probably our character's absolute lowest point in the game. So if you're for some reason still watching this and don't want spoilers, even though I mentioned that earlier, stop watching. So, the pirates destroy the entire city of Advent. Yeah, dude, in this cutesy Metroidvania, an entire city of people gets massacred. It surprised me too the first time. Which is what makes the second time... No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, this game gets surprisingly dark and provides us with this scene. Right, so, fuck. The emotional punch of this scene was not something I'd felt in a video game in a long time. But, anyways, why did I show you this? Well, this moment is what brings a lot of the inter-character conflicts to their climax in the story. The biggest of these being the arc between Otis and Aceo. Yeah, remember the dude who's just like always a total asshole to Otis? Yeah, that guy. But now I'm going to show you a scene between these two that really drives home that theme of forgiveness. At first, this starts out aggressive, and I literally said... But then... In a surprising moment of self-reflection, Aceo manages to admit his faults and actually apologizes to Otis, and Otis forgives him. No words, this is all you need. Now that's filmmaking. I mean storytelling. This was also something I needed at the time. I'm not going to get too specific, but I was feeling a lot of jealousy, anger, and all those warm and fuzzy feelings towards others and myself. Over time, though, I was able to come to peace with a lot of that stuff, and that came around the same time I came across this scene. Without a doubt, though, the strongest and most present theme of the game is the one of accepting the love from those around you. And that's the one that gave me the biggest takeaway. The first showcase of this lesson I'd like to mention is actually seen through the entire main cast. A group of 4 misfits who manage to find each other, overcome their differences, and become close friends. Not a terribly unique idea by any means, but it's the lovable characters that give it so much weight. At the beginning of the story, we know how alone Otis is feeling, and it seems as though Getty and Otis are the only friends either of them really have. But as they continue on their journey and join up with Alphonse and eventually Twig, 2 people neither of them probably ever thought they could ever be friends with, their self-worth seems to grow with them as they build a supportive group of people who care for each other. Which also ties back to that theme of confidence. Crazy how that works. Almost like the same thing happens in real life. Weird. However, the pièce de résistance, I don't know if I'm saying that right, of this theme of acceptance and love and, well, the whole point of the game, really, is the ending. As the game comes to a close, we're met with what is the exact opposite of how the game started. As Otis speaks to all these different visions of people from Veli, he is met with praise and love rather than the insults and put-downs he dreamed at the start of the game. In the final conversation of the game, Vision Aceo speaks with Otis. And this is where the point of the game is really laid out for you. Aceo tells Otis that he grew up with people who loved him and cared about his future, and in some cases regretted things they said to him, because people are prone to forget things they cherish the most. Then, for the first time in the whole game, Otis talks back, asking about his friends. Aceo reassures him that they'll be okay and that they'll all have to adjust to this new world, but they'll be able to overcome it. And as I watched the game's last moments play out and the credits roll, I just started to cry. So, what was the point of this video? I guess I just wanted to talk about why this game means so much to me. I finished Owlboy at a pretty low point in my life. A lot of emotional distress and self-doubt were in the works. Really, it was just a culmination of girl problems and me having an identity crisis during my stint in community college. And did things still get shitty after I finished Owlboy? Well, yeah, there are always going to be periods in my life that feel that way. But see, that one in particular came to a close. It got better. I overcame it. And while there were plenty of factors that helped me do that, I'm certain Owlboy was one of them, as ridiculous as that sounds. This little 9-hour game that took 10 years to make managed to remind me why I love video games. I mean, this thing was made by a studio of 5 people, and it managed to have this massive impact on my life. That's more than a lot of these 300 people AAA studios can say. The amount of passion these guys put into this game is palpable. You see it in every facet of the game. I don't think a game has done what Owlboy has done for me since I first played Halo 2 when I was 7. That's not to say there haven't been games I've loved and adored since then, but I don't think any of them really managed to give me an actual sense of personal development. Don't get me wrong, I'm still kinda in a weird spot in life. I'm trying to finally move out of my parents' house and really find my independence. But I can be more confident moving forward, in part thanks to Owlboy, the game that reminded me to take a look around and appreciate what I've got, and just how far I've gotten, in spite of whatever shit life throws at me. I have an amazingly supportive family that supports me in whatever I want to do, even though so far my only 2 career aspirations have been film and music, because of how profitable and non-competitive they are. I've also got what I consider to be the greatest group of friends in the world. Friends I'd argue are just as much my family as my parents or siblings are. These people are my Getty, Alphonse, and Twig. That sounds stupid, but it's true. All of these people were there for me through that really shitty point in my life, and I hope I've been able to do the same for them. I finished Owlboy in October of 2019, and this essay is being uploaded hopefully in November or December of 2020. There's a global pandemic, and I'm stuck inside all the time, so shit, I figured I may as well finish this thing. Looking back on it though, I'm glad I'm finishing this essay when I am, because now I can confidently say I've come out of that shitty spot, and have the proper self-reflection required to translate what this game meant to me. In short, Owlboy got me to remember that I have people that love me in my life, and that just because something's hard, or shitty, or depressing, or whatever, doesn't mean it's going to be that way forever. You find your strength, your direction, a specific person, or in my case, a game like Owlboy, that can give you the tools to dig yourself out of that hole. And that is why I love Owlboy.